Welcome to Center of Light Radio.
Access granted.
It's good to see all you people. It's been a while since I've done a Center of Light Radio interview. In fact, my guest tonight is one of the last I've done, and I have her back so soon because we had some serious technical issues. So I thought it only right, fair. She's powerful, and I want to bring her back. And so tonight we're going to be talking about multidimensionality. Multidimensionality. This means playing into the different dimensions of creator mind. Welcome everyone to Center of Light Radio. Hi Anna, hi Jesse, hi Christopher Lefeva, Lynn, Corey, Debbie, Dana, thank you for sharing, Dana, and Phyllis. Hey Phyllis, Terry, and the like. Hello Sana, hello beautiful sexy people. Corey, Robert Garrett, guitar, gunslinging, songwriting fool. Jimmy Mancini, bro, you're amazing yourself. Leslie Ma, Arrow Bourgeois. Everyone know that there's an ellipsis up here, 3 dots. If you're not familiar with that says notify me when Keith goes live. You can always donate to my work. I do this pro bono. Cher and Sonny Bono. Let me look at my guest. She sent me a message one moment. She says, okay. I want to give you a couple of adverts real quick. September 21st and 22nd. Give me a moment. I'm looking for it. September 21st and 22nd this year, Agri Center International, Memphis, Tennessee. Crystals and Stones, Nutrition, Holistic Medicine Services, Environmentally Conscious Businesses, Spiritual Readers, Authors, Paranormal Investigators, Researchers, Akashic Records, Auric Photography, yay, free and paid workshop, food trucks, and lots of entertainment. $20 for both days, $15 per day. Keynote speakers, Dr. Rita Louise. She's an author, phenomenal. She's a powerhouse like my guest tonight. Neuropathic physician. She's a medical intuitive. She can go inside, close her eyes, and tell you what's wrong with you. Dr. Jason Rand, keynote speaker. Larry Flaxman. He's been on Discovery Channel, Ancient Aliens, and the like. Keynote speaker. Lynette Marie, preventative medicine, the best insurance possible. And I'm going to be a keynote speaker. Speakers all day, but those are your keynote speakers on Sunday at 6 p.m. I think the subject content for the keynote panel is going to be about how to bring in energies of constantly moving forward, manifestation. We understand the idea of retrograde. I do. It has its place, but it's not in the arena of absolute truth that everyone, especially now, today is Lionsgate. 0808 Lionsgate. Tonight, after this interview with Sarah or Adams, I'm going to be doing an In the Cave episode called 88 Lionsgate, 9:30 tonight. Make sure you attend that. 4 Point Spiritual Expo, Memphis, Tennessee, September 21st and 22nd. I know Victoria Smith. She is off the charts. She is no joke. She gets in there and creates a fire. A fire. I love what she does. You can find more about this amazing event that's going to transpire next month at Circle of Chi. That's Circle of QI. Circle of Chi. Circle of QI. On Facebook, or you can find it on the internet. You need more information, you can contact me. There are codes that you put in for discounts, so forth and so on, so forth and so on, and so forth. And let's move on with it. Again, my guest tonight, and we're going to be talking about multidimensionality. Multidimensionality with Sarah Adams. Going to be right back. Lavender Soul. Let's see what Lavender Soul I'm going to play. And Lavender Soul is now in the studio. Not in the studio yet, but we're writing songs. And this coming Monday, we're going to incorporate, who is part of the band, Angelo Rapin. Since he was 6 years old, he's been playing piano. He's a world-renowned, award-winning maestro, pianist of the Memphis Symphony Orchestra for many years. This guy is ridiculous. Wow. I can't wait to see the glaze of ooze and icing he's going to put on the cake that Bernard and I started fashioning. It's going to be nuts. I'm excited. I'm looking for a perfect song. The song I'm looking for is perfect in every way. Did I post it? At least put it up here. I don't think so. So what I am going to play is, dear Lord, there comes a time in your life, today, tonight, 8-8 Lions Gate. I'll explain all that, and maybe Sarah and I will touch briefly, or as long as she likes, on this truth. The gate is open. I've been saying this for years. The gate is open. The gate is open. Take a breath. Breathe. God is breath. God is every time you breathe. Are you aware of you modulating that energy into your experience every time you simply breathe? That's it. There is no other work required. Lavender Soul, breathe. Enjoy.
Trust that I will guide you in whatever you do. Just remember to breathe and do your very best to live in love, give in love, be in love, and love you shall receive.
Welcome back to Center of Light. Yeah, Lavender Soul. We're coming out with a new album in about 6 months. I'm excited. I'm excited to get back into the studio and do something I really love, which is creating music. Let's get down to Center of Light Radio. My guest tonight is Sarah R. Adams. Let me tell you a little bit, before I tell you about Sarah R. Adams, let me call her. Here we go. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. So you hear the music? The school Skype music?
Hello.
Let's see if we can make this happen right off the bat with no issue.
Hello.
And there she is. Hello, dear. If possible, can you turn your phone sideways if that's not a big deal? So we can see more of your light and your lovely. How are you, dear?
Good. Do I need to move this up or not? Can you see
You can go down. In other words, your top of your head is almost cut off. Almost, and we don't want that.
What happened here? Sorry, I lost my light.
No worry. So if you can, give us a little more of the top of your head, but let me read your bio. Everyone, tonight, my guest is Sarah R. Adams, and tonight we're talking about multidimensionality. Oh my God, one of the reasons I do what I do. Wow, there's nothing like waking up, and she will tell you, there's nothing like waking up in the morning. And as soon as you wake up and you come to the awareness of the room, you say to yourself, oh my God, what was that? And this can happen also self-induced. It doesn't have to always be about sleeping. But let me tell you about my guest tonight, Sarah R. Adams, has experienced many things. Listen to this. From seeing abductions to seeing angels who aided her. Her awakened consciousness increased as she got older. She experienced the supernatural. Don't let that fool you. God is supernatural. It's that which is not only natural, but it's so super and awesome. And her past lives in Egypt and Atlantis. Telepathy, weather abnormalities, feeling others' emotions, remote viewing, another one of my faves, quantum leaping, and time travel. Oh my God, we've been split at the hip. And other realities she's endured. I've helped so much. I've healed so much and believe every day is a healing journey to greater heights. Sarah works with many clients around the world in what she calls intuitive healing. This includes using homeopathy herbs, supplements, diet superfoods. I love me some blueberries, dear Lord. Detoxing, energy work, essential oils, visualization, her list goes on and on, meditation, subtle energy work, da-da-da. She has made TV appearances on Gaia TV. I am going to be in Gaia TV. That's one of my goals. Including Beyond Belief and Buzzsaw. Love both those. As well as Vice TV, The Basis Project, co-hosting the Divine Truth Show on Revolution Radio. I would love to be a guest if that's possible. And many others. Sarah R. Adams continues to be a major force. She is a powerhouse. No joke. A major force in the world of enlightenment while healing many people around the world. For more on my guest tonight, Sarah, go to www.sarah, that's with an H, www.sarah, S-A-R-A-H-R, Adams.com. Dear Lord, lady, welcome to Center of Light Radio.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. I'm excited.
We had such an issue last time you came to Center of Light, whether you and I were aroused by the energy, and just so much so it started shutting electronics down.
Yeah.
I'm glad you were back, and I love the subject that you have chosen. Let's get right into the thick of it. Let's talk about your experiences, what we can do to be a part of this multidimensional aspect of self.
So let me start by saying it's the Lionsgate portal today, and I spent most of my day out in the middle of the forest among the trees, and I had an amazing experience, and I was able to pass through that portal very easily by bringing my energy up, and I was able to also speak with some leprechauns. So I had a very exciting experience speaking to these leprechauns, and they went ahead and they came and they sort of brought me some gifts and just told me that they were aligning to my mission here on Earth. And it was an exciting exciting experience. At the same time, they kind of followed us. They followed the whole group, so it was amazing.
Thank you
So
for
that's my
sharing
multi-dimensional experience today. And thank
for
you
the
for
day.
having
For
me
the
on your show.
day,
Joe.
I love that, Sarah, because I would like to share something as an equal trade to support. And I get it, like you. A lot of people who follow us in the light, they claim they are spiritual, and they are. Everything is spiritual, even the most horrible aspect of your life is spiritual. But when you and I and others of the light, we go so far into that rabbit hole, it gets a little weird, to use a word, from another's perspective, not from Sarah and I. So one night, many years ago, I'm driving home from a gig. I play music for a living. So I'm cruising, 2 o'clock in the morning, got my thing going, just had a wonderful night, feeling accomplished. And all of a sudden, a fairy by the name of Fabriska, by the name of Fabriska shows up. And she's sitting in my chair, my passenger seat, or wherever she's sitting, but let's say there. And she says, "Hello, Keith." I said, so I invited the experience. So saying, "Okay, I believe you're there. It's all good. What do you want?" She goes, "Well, what do you want?" I said, "What do you mean, what do you want?" She said, "Keith, you've called to me." And so I asked her about certain things, and she says, I asked, "What is it like where you dwell?" She said, "Where I dwell, it's pink, it's fuzzy, it's your grandmother's bosom. Everything is surrounded in these little pink bubbles, like being an innocent child in the Christ principle, where all your woes and issues no longer exist." So this was my dialogue for about 2 hours with this being. So what was your first multidimensional experience like? Because I'm sure that had to take you back and wow you to some degree. It's like, what the heck is that?
Wow, that's a good question, because it's hard to remember the first one that I experienced. As a child, I was talking to angels, to fairies, to ghosts, to anything that passed by or decided to come speak to me. So let me think. Right off the bat, I can't remember, because there's so many experiences that I've never really thought about it. I know some of my first experiences were just, I knew I had past lives. I knew why I came to Earth, and I spoke to Archangel Michael a lot, who would appear, next to my bed at night and would go ahead and speak to me and tell me, how how people were disconnected from the divine, and how explain to me why children could interact with the divine better because of the fact that they were like the fairy. They had clean auras. Their soul energy was clean. So there was nothing blocking them from connecting with higher beings. So those are some of my experiences as a child. To specify one, or my memory of the very first one, I can't do that right now. It's probably going to take some time to think about that one and really go back to find that.
I understand that, because at this juncture of the game, I've had so many, I can only remember the ones that stick out the most. But it's such an it's a remembering of liberation that happens in that moment. If it's your first one or your first few, it's like, I remember this space. I remember this space. I remember this space. So Sarah, when does this happen to you? In other words, I'm Sarah Adams, and I'm going through my day, and I'm gonna go sit down for a little while because something's happening. Or is it something that you have to intend and induce? And how easy it for you to induce, to shift into a space of the spirit?
So with me, it's both. I will be doing my dishes, running errands, and spirits will come to me. I will get visions, get downloads, and then I can, if I want to go really deep and induce it too, I can do that. So it happens to me constantly, but it's something that I am at peace with, and it's something that helps me in life. These beings come and tell me, okay, there's danger here, or this is happening in the world. You need to meditate and pray for these things. They're letting me know everything that's going on, along with me being connected to God's source, which for me infinite, omnipresent, omnipotent source of energy that I connect to, that I call God. So I have the information coming through there, along with the beings that are aligned to this divine force. So I'm kind of always downloading things and interacting with things. But and that's, for me, that's the main goal of humanity, is to return to their soul. And when they connect to their soul, then they can connect to all these beautiful beings, and they can connect to God's source. And they're not, humanity thinks they're alone floating on this planet, but they're not. There's so much more than just what you're seeing in your 3D physical world. And when you open yourself up to your soul, you are able to achieve access to the divine and to all these wonderful beings that are aligned to the divine. Humanity's never been alone. Humanity
Access
has just
granted.
divided itself off from the divine, and when it divided itself off from these beautiful beings that, love to connect to humanity and love to help humanity out.
Wow. All I can say is wow.
Access granted.
What she is saying is is the truth. And it's not only, listen, this is really not only about Lionsgate today. Every day is Lionsgate. Lionsgate is the birthday, this ceremony when things are most aligned. But if you are most aligned yourself, every day for you is Lionsgate. My God, we were truly pulled apart at the hip at birth. From the chat room, Corey Otto asked the question. I love it. It's a very you and I's kind of question. He asked the question, have you ever constellation jumped or star grab you out of the sky? Whatever that means. You get the energy.
So I have went into other universes. I went behind the sun. The sun's a portal. You have to build up enough light to go through the sun. And there is other creations and other universes, dimensions behind the sun. So I have access to that. In fact, my incarnation here on Earth, I remember before I incarnated on other planets that I came through the portal through the sun. I have went to other constellations. Recently, I went to a constellation that was or universe with some sort of constellation that was completely purple and silver. That's all that was there. So yes, and I've traveled to planets. I've traveled all the way to Saturn. So as for star jumping, I'm not exactly sure what that is. I can go to stars, I can go to the moon, and I can go to different stars, different planets, and I do use the force fields of planets or the moon or specific stars to travel through their energy fields, which are all connected, like almost a puzzle, so that I can get from one to another using their force fields. So that's something that I do.
Keith Anthony Blanchard here, Yanava, Center of Light Radio, centeroflightradio.com, facebook.com/Center of Light Radio, youtube.com/Center of Light Radio, Sarah R. Adams, www.sarahradams, that's Sarah with an H, SARAHR, Adams.com. Sarah, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm really enjoying our dialogue. We are so connected. I want to ask you a question. When you start talking like what you're talking, when my guests often do what they get into their thing, and you're getting into your thing, and I'm feeling that I feel the gate beginning to open in you. As when people come onto my show, they said, well, I'm pretty fluent in many spiritual languages. I said, they say, what do you want to talk about? I said, no. What do you want to talk about? And that you are saying that, I think a very important question for everyone. When I ask my guests, I'm playing the role of speaking for everyone. When you have these experiences, how does it feel to be you?
This morning I was pondering death, how I've had many lifetimes and many deaths. And death to me isn't scary. It's just like going to sleep, and I get to go off into another adventure that I choose. And I was just I was pondering this whole thing of how we teach, that we make everybody scared of death, and we should, try to make this world the best possible for the living, so it's a beautiful place, and not scare people when it comes to dying. When you're when you become elderly and you die, instead of those people being fearful, they should welcome it as something that is just a transformation, because they truly can never die. So I live every day knowing I never die. I'm immortal. I go from one body to another. I have amazing, beautiful lifetimes with souls that love me and souls that I love, and we never are apart. Even death can't keep us apart, because we always come together in the end. And I feel like on this earth where there's such, everything's fearful, everything's full of fear, and we need to stop that, and we need to kind of start to teach people about these things, teach people that they are eternal, they're divine, they're incredible, they're beautiful, and that this is just an experience on earth, and to live their life to the best they can, have as many amazing experiences as they can before they move on, to death and to go to another lifetime of adventure. And that's one of the messages I got this morning, to tell people, to embrace their soul, to embrace themselves, and to not be afraid, because this lifetime is just a breath. It's just a blink of an eye to the soul. The soul has so many experiences. You might not remember your past lives, but you have had hundreds of past lives on other planets and in other dimensions. You're eternal. And if everybody realized just how powerful they were, this world would change, because nobody would be fearful to stand up for what's right, to change this world, and to completely push for push to help others out, and just push for world change. And I think that's the whole message that I got today in this sort of Lionsgate portal, was about, look, this is, nobody ever dies. Let them know this, and let them know that their loved ones who have died, they're in other places, places of peace that they chose to go to, because sometimes this world was overwhelmed. But nobody needs to be scared of death, and everybody needs to start living life and change the 3D physical world into something beautiful and amazing and positive for everybody, so that there's no suffering left on this world. And that was one of the messages, and that fear was being used to suppress humanity. Humanity needs to face its fears and rise above its fears. And for me, I live every day feeling, even if I died tomorrow, I'm completely at peace, because I know I would just go off into another incarnation. I have this sense of power within me that's given to me by the divine. I know that I'm eternal. I know that I'm immortal. I know that I am loved, and that I am divine, and I have all that because I'm connected to my soul, and my soul has all this memory from past lifetimes, past incarnations, past experiences. It knows it's never going to die. It knows it just takes on this body as like I put on this dress, has the experience, downloads what it needs, learns what it needs, expresses what it needs, brings to the world that I incarnate in the messages that it needs, or whatever path I have chosen, and then it moves on to another experience. And we all are doing this. Just some of us have, we've done the work to remember, while others, they haven't done the work to remember, and that's why they're not remembering their past lives, or that's why they're not channeling in their soul. Because when you merge your soul into your body, you're not scared of anything anymore. If there's any problems in life, your soul, it's got part of God's source. It channels in the solutions. It channels in, even if you're really sick, your soul will channel in the solutions on how to heal yourself. So we have all the solutions within us. We have all the power within us. We have everything that we need within us, and we need to stop being afraid, and we need to go ahead and do the work to merge our soul, become one, and start to do real positive change in this world. And everybody is needed, not just one or two. I think we're taught in religion, we're waiting for this one man or one person to come down. No, and what that is that's keeping the lower consciousness having a hold on this world, because
like a slave, being in slavery,
waiting, rather than realizing that they are part of God and they have that power. They do not need to wait for any man or any religious figure coming out of the sky, or whatever ridiculous stuff that has been programmed to humanity to take their power away. People are so powerful, and together, we're divine technology. When I speak to you right now in this very voice, I can go walk by a river that is polluted, and if we all stood together and we created circles and we would chant into those rivers, we could clear the toxins out of those rivers. We could heal the magnetic axis of this earth. We could heal the ozone layer. We could heal the earth massively. We have that within ourselves, and there is a, you know, our elite leaders. There's a lot of, whether they're religious leaders or whether they're elite leaders that run this world, they don't want us knowing that we have so much power. We have power to tell this planet to heal. We have the power to tell each other to heal. We have the power to tell our bodies to heal. We have amazing, incredible power within
Sarah,
us.
I
And
like
religion has raped us of it.
I love acknowledging my guests. This is not kissing the brown. It may be, but it's not. I love acknowledging my guests, and acknowledging a sister or brother on the path doesn't make me and my sister or brother even any higher than anybody else. I love someone seeing doing the work. If I want to be a law enforcement officer, I go to school. If I want to be a fireman, I go to school. If I want to be a culinary chef, I go to school. You and I have been to school. Many of us, the like, have been to school. And I understand, quote, pseudo spirituality. I love that spirituality is becoming actually a trend. Wow!
Yes.
That's amazing. It's amazing. And it does not mean that John Doe or Jill Doe has not channeled or had an experience with an angelic force, an angelic presence of light. It's like a musician or a brain surgeon. You can give someone music theory and they learn how to play guitar. It has nothing to do with going on stage. You can learn brain surgery. It has nothing to do with putting your hand in gray matter. And Sarah, so my point of acknowledging you is because we all like validation. We all like to be seen. If that would not be the truth, people like Sadhguru and the like would say, I'm not going to make videos today. It's about being seen so we can impart a message. And when I listen to you and others of the like, you're absolutely believable because you're coming from a space of true experience and knowledge and wisdom and insight and memory. That being said, would you like to talk a little bit about your memory in Atlantis or
Yes.
Egypt?
Yes, I would. Let me go ahead and say this, that nobody is better than another. Everybody is equal. Just, you know, some people have learned how to do things. I don't know, you know, when a blacksmith does his work, I don't know how to do with a blacksmith. I would have to learn. And I think the same goes for accessing your soul. We've been in this whole thing of, everybody thought that religion was showing them how to access, you know, something higher up, but it wasn't. It was tricking them in a way. And nobody knows how to access their soul, and that's the whole problem right now. And it's actually really easy to access your soul. You just clear out everything. You clear your thoughts, you know, and you go within. And when you start accessing your soul, and at first you might, you know, when you close your eyes, you might have like a million thoughts. You have to work on just clearing and clearing and clearing until everything is calm within, and then you access your soul, and then your soul starts to give you images and visions, and you have these downloads. And everybody has that capability around the world. It doesn't matter what race, what gender, how you look, how much money you have. Everybody around the world is divine and part of God's source. And you know, God's source within them, their souls have been always calling out to them. Calling out to humanity is such a beautiful thing to me, that all these years, you know, no matter what has happened to this world, we still have our souls calling out to us, and our souls have always been there. The divine has always been there. We've just been looking in the wrong places. We've been looking in the places where it's not. We've been looking all out there, and we forgot that it's in here. And
I
that's
love that we have been looking in the places that it's not. In my book, The Divine Principle, it says
places
that
is not.
we have been looking for love in all the wrong places. When you understand that you are what you have been longing for, there is this echo in your voice. And earlier tonight, I was going to ask you to see if we can extinguish it, but it sounds pretty cosmic. I'm kind of digging it. I think everybody's digging it. So if you would,
I get into this state where I feel it's not me speaking, but
correct.
it's rather God's source that speaks
Yes.
through me. And this is why I never want to take, you know, I don't want people to look at me and think I'm something special. I want them to see that force coming through me and understand that they can also access that force, that force is something that everybody can access. And I think that that's been my big problem with being public, is whether people will focus on me or rather the message that I'm given. And the message that I'm given is that's what's important to me. That message is about empowering people to connect to their souls, so that when they do, I can just encourage them. And that God source will just bring them together so that we can start to manifest real change on this planet. And that's the important message to me. Because if I wasn't connected to that God, that force, God source, I would just be another lost person. And I feel very much
Or you could
blessed,
not
so much gratitude.
actually, in the form of truth, if you were not connected to that, you couldn't exist.
Yeah, I don't. For me, I don't believe I could exist without being access to that. All the lifetimes I look back, I have always been, connected to that force, and it's always been very, it's always been very beautiful to me and loving, and just always rescued me. Sometimes I was like a lost child sometimes in my incarnations, at one point in this incarnation too. And that force, when I was sick and broken, because at one point in my life, I was just sick and broken. I had to crawl out of bed. And this force would say, okay, listen, I'm going to help you heal. I'm going to show you how to heal. I'm going to heal you. And I'm going to, in the end, because I had nothing. I was very, very I was quite homeless. And it was like, in the end, I'm going to heal you because I know your heart and I know you're doing what's right. And I'm going to restore everything and give you more than you could possibly imagine. And it let me know this. And it's funny because 2 years after doing that healing, I have more than I could ever imagine. And it had promised me this in dreams and visions and when I was meditating. And it said, I will allow you to have, a voice in the world because you channel me, because you say what I feel and express. And it let me know that for those who align to their souls, to God force, that force will always bless them, heal them, and take care of them. Of course, we're going to get some tests. And, we're on earth and we're going to get some tests, but in the end, it always has us, like a loving mother or a loving father. For me, it's a loving father, it's a loving mother. It's just this nurturing divine force that it brings both the feminine energies and it brings the masculine energies and it brings the sister energies and brother energies. It brings all those energies to me. So I never feel alone and I never feel sad. I always feel amazingly loved and well and connected to it. And I'm so strange. I always listen to love songs and people are like, you're always listening to love songs. And I'm like, because that's that love that for me, when I hear a love song, it's this whole connection to the divine that I have, this internal beautiful love that even if I was alone in the middle of the forest and I never saw a soul again, I would feel extremely loved and feel just this love coming out of me because of that force.
Sarah, I love that you say that. And I want to echo that before we go to a song break with Lavender Soul. Is like you, when I do my one-on-ones, I do these presentations called The Cave. What you say in the forum will be used for you or against you depending on your perspective. It's never meant to butthurt you. But if you get offended and or butthurt, we are treading on sacred ground. So I do. I have this fire around my video, and it looks like we're truly in a cave kind of idea. My point is, when I go into this mode, and I go into that mode that you're in, I say, I just want you to see how this is happening to and for me and through me. You can have your own way, but I want you to see as it graduates into this conflict, this fire. And you see, you are on fire. When you get into this arena, you so step into it. Oh my God. It's like you are burning. You can see this light, this flow. So I know that place, and I like pointing it out to people that it's not about, hey, look at me, but it's about, hey, look at me. I've done the work, and if you want to be this title, when you graduate into the fullness of who you are, this is what it could look like. So it gives some people something tangible to see or how things are done. And the elation that goes from them looking just normal face as you start off your presentation to 15, 20 minutes, and when you have completely shifted into something that is truly completely different. Everyone, Keith Anthony Blanchard here, Center of Light Radio. Tonight I'm speaking with my guest, Sarah Adams. You can find more about Sarah at Sarah R. Adams. That's SARAHR Adams.com. Keith Anthony Blanchard here, Yanava, Center of Light Radio. After this presentation, we're going to be going into the cave. Leave your shoes and your religion at the door, at the entrance, because we're going in trance. Why leave your shoes? Because we're going to potentially bring you to sacred ground. You want to put your soul of your feet, the soul of who you are on the earth, so you can plant. Why leave your religion behind? You can bring your deity. Leave your dogma behind. Because where we're going to go, when you cross the threshold, your religion before the absolute will be shattered. And all that matters will come to the surface for you. Welcome to the Lionsgate 0808. It is time for a change. For a change.
As I contemplate a billion stars, leaving my hands to fate, that's all I've got, all I've got. In the summertime, I won't have no water. It's a little bit harder to
Access granted.
Access granted. Lionsgate 0808. Sarah, my guest tonight, was talking about right now. Your soul is trying to liberate you right now. It's always calling to you. Always calling to you. The noise of the world, if we lean into it, can get pretty intense. And it... Uh-oh, my screen is freezing up. No. See if it catches up. But we get so caught up in the noise that we lose sight, hearing, feeling, capacity of all that which is causing us trouble. Why is my software freezing up? Sarah, I'm trying to get you back on. Let me see if... I think it's catching up. So welcome back to Center of Light Radio, Sarah. I will get your beautiful face up as soon as it allows me to. Are you there, dear?
Can you hear me? Hi,
I can. We can hear you. For whatever reasons, my software is not allowing me to switch screens. Why? And I just did an update today. It fixed the bugs. So, Sarah, I would like to talk, if that's okay with you, about your time in Atlantis and or Egypt, if that's something that's comfortable for you.
Yes. So I can start with my time in Atlantis. And
sure.
So my time in Atlantis was, it was definitely a lot, everybody was a lot more connected to the other realms than in this lifetime. And in Atlantis, they had sort of where they were very balanced, the spiritual, the realms of energy, and the 3D reality, the 3D worlds. So they were going in and out of their bodies. They were traveling, astral projection. They were having outer body experiences. They were going into other dimensions. So they embraced that. They embraced their spirit, their soul. And so in Atlantis, it was above everything. To embrace your soul was above everything. They would channel, they were so advanced because they would channel all these amazing ideas and thoughts from God's source and transfer that into their 3D world and use that to create technology that was both 3D and energetic. So they kind of combined those things. I remember being a priestess in Atlantis and connected to the royal house. And my last memories of Atlantis are when I was in this crystal system. There was sort of an earthquake and it was shaken. And I was connected to this group there was this group of priests around me and priestesses in a circle. And I was walking in the middle of them. We were all psychically connected and we were trying to fix whatever was going wrong. And they were evacuating me. And they were also, they were evacuating this whole area that I was in. There was a lot of crystals and we were rushing as if there was an earthquake. And that's the last memory that I have of Atlantis. Now, my partner who passed away, I remember him from Atlantis. I remember him being one of the priests in Atlantis. So I have met people now that I remember from Atlantis. I have a few other friends that I also remember from Atlantis. So my most vivid memory of Atlantis is the fall of Atlantis, when I was in the crystal caves, when everything was shaken, when I was psychically connected to these priests in a circle and priestesses in a circle around me, and we were trying to fix there was too much of an energy flow or something coming through. We were trying to fix that. And that's the last memory that I have of it.
Wow. Do you, by chance, and I understand time goes by, things get lost, things get buried, do you have an idea of where Atlantis was located? And the reason I asked this question, I saw, of course, if anyone wants to talk about Atlantis, of course, the natural question is, where was it? This young guy, he's about 27 years old. I saw this a few months back. And he's one of those young bucks. He's got a lot of fanciful ideas. He's new on the spiritual path. But he said something that was very, very promising in the form of where was Atlantis. He says, well, if we look at the Gulf of Mexico, it's called the Gulf of Mexico for a reason. Because the Gulf, because Mexico surrounds the Gulf. He says, why do we think we call the Atlantic Ocean the Atlantic Ocean? He was stating that the Atlantis was America. He had this map that he found in the late 1700s that said Atlantis. So from your reincarnated experience or your thoughts or truth, absolute knowing, whatever it would be, where was Atlantis?
So Atlantis was both in our. So Atlantis was more of a civilization than just an island, or, for me, it spanned different planets, and not only that, there were also. So they had built, like in the physical, but they had also built in the other realms. So Atlantis was both built in the realms of energy, and also in the 3D realm. So it was connected together. So you might say the when they would go out of their bodies, they could go into their creations also in the realms of energy that were connected to the 3D physical realm that they used when they went back into their body that they were living in. So for me, Atlantis spanned planets. It was a planetarial system, all connected together. That was also
so are you saying that it was an idea? It was a shared common idea. Idea meaning idea imbued with will and experience. So it wasn't just a physical place on this earth, be it wherever it was geographically located.
It was a physical place. So it was more than just Earth. It was
right.
A planetarial system connected together that then was connected interdimensionally. So they were traveling among planets and among dimensions. And those are my memories of Atlantis. It wasn't just one little island. Yes, there's remnants. And even if you went to some other planets near us, there will be remnants of Atlantis. You could find remnants of Atlantis, but that's because it's not because Atlantis was just solely on that planet or this planet. It was a system that was, that had more than one planet that had more than one planet that was connected to. Atlantis was not just an island; it was a
so there were stargates that linked all these different junctions up. Wow!
The different planets together. So there was interplanetary travel. Then there was interdimensional gateways that they would pass through and go into other dimensions.
So why did Atlantis sink, disappear, change to higher vibration? What was that all about, dear?
That is a good question. What I remember is that there was too much of an influx of energy. I have ran across some other people who remember living in Atlantis. And again, they created devices. They would create generators that could channel energy in. So they could literally, so they could grow their crop. If they wanted a planet to be more fertile for better crops, they could channel energy into the core of the planet, bringing the frequency up. And when the frequency of the planet is higher, the planet will be more fertile and grow more crops because of the energy being higher, and the energy flow going through the crops would make them grow more. So they were able to do this, and something went wrong with some of their devices. And I've met some other people that have similar memories of that some of the devices that they were using, these energy generators that they were using, something went wrong. And that's
it was actually a mistake versus an ill agenda.
On Mars, my lifetime on Mars, it was an ill agenda from some of the clashing elite there. But
was that with Jupiter? Was that a battle with Jupiter?
When it comes to it, for me, that's and we'll have to get into that on maybe this show or another show. But when it comes to Atlantis, I don't remember anything, that was any it was just a mistake is what I remember. That's more what I remember than anything else. And we were sent, like I said, my last memory, because we were sent to try to fix that mistake because there was such an influx of energy. We were trying to psychically go and take care of that, but we were not able to do that.
What about Egypt? You see, these are hot topics. I mean, I get it. You and I get it. We don't have to talk about it. But these are hot topics for other people. They like knowing about this stuff. And I like knowing about it, even if it's just for a good read. But I like when someone like you steps up and says, I don't care what you think. And so it's beyond. I just
focus on me, and I don't want to focus on me because I don't.
I get that. I totally get, but I totally get that. But Sarah, the focus is on you.
I'm wearing an Isis robe right now, so Egypt is one of my favorite lifetimes, and I actually remember one of my strong memories of Egypt is when I was mummified, and so I have this memory of a brother, and this brother was with me in that lifetime, and he was part of the royal family, and he told us to get in our sarcophagus that we were going to go to another dimension. And we all laid down, and this golden being appeared and started to inscribe the sides of the sarcophagus with these symbols and these different things that would just burn it. And then I remember the being, he was in fluid gold, and he said that we were to come with him. And as I lifted out of my body, my physical body, so as my energy filled my soul, lifted out of my body, my physical body mummified instantaneously. So that's one of my strong memories I have from Egypt.
Wow. And I hear you when you say you don't want the focus to be on you, but the focus is on you, and you're a teacher, and you're a very good teacher. You're very alert.
I'm not a teacher.
You are a teacher, just at least by expression of your confidence and your way.
Everybody is multidimensional.
Absolutely.
I put more time into accessing that, and everybody has the ability to access that. I come across so many people that I can see in their aura that they have had lives in Atlantis, that they've had lives, off planet. They've come from other universes, and I can see this, and they're living 3D everyday lives, and they don't know it. And sometimes something magical will happen to them, and they'll be all like, "That's interesting. That kind of made me think," and then they'll go back to their life. But it's those other, that part of their soul that's coming through, or those lifetimes, or those abilities they had in those lifetimes that are seeping through into their 3D physical lifetime right now, trying to wake them up. So I see that happen quite a bit.
I remember being at a restaurant some years ago, wherever I was, fast food kind of thing. And, I'm getting my spiritual groove on, and I'm not trying to think. I'm just trying to get into my sandwich, bury my face into my sandwich. And I see Mike Archangel, or angelic archangel energy all around this lady. And so the ego at Keith wanted to go say, "Hey, check me out. I see God around you. I just want to tell you." And something said, "Shh, Keith, just be quiet. Just observe." And I could see this amazing light presence around this beautiful person. Sarah, I know that, like you and many of us, when we fall into the space of what we really are, who rather are, it's not, that's even not enough to describe the it of us. You've been doing it so long, like myself and others. There's now a default. There's no effort in trying to be cosmic. In fact, I'm not trying to be cosmic because it's the trend. I live in this natural state because, like a guitar player, after you learn certain chords and certain theory, you literally begin to put the theory of music down because you no longer need it. In fact, theory's only intention, even though it seems like a rule that you follow, is to liberate you. So how does it feel? And I did ask you earlier, and I understand you said, I just can't pinpoint one. But let me ask you this differently. When you have a multidimensional experience, how does it feel to you that Is it you just feel so liberated, the memory of your eternal existence just comes flooding back, or?
I do. I feel liberated. I feel very blessed. I have so much gratitude for it. It's like I see people every day struggling. They feel so alone, and I realize how blessed I am that I know I'm not alone, that I have these experiences, and that the universe constantly interacts with me. And even though, I've struggled, and, even though I'm kind of out there now with this stuff, I was always like this, and I got laughed at and bullied for it and just told I was crazy. And it was not an easy path for a very long time. But it refined me. It was like, are you going to choose to bend yourself for what people want? Are you going to truly be yourself and what you know that you are, and be your authentic self? So it really put me into this test, this sort of soul test of, do I want to tone down myself and just crush that side of myself that is extremely connected to the spiritual and fit into the 3D reality of society? Or shall I fight back and stand up and say, no, I'm going to be myself. No matter what people say, no matter what they think of me, I'm going to be myself. And it taught me a lot of lessons, because it taught me to, it taught me to truly embrace myself in the end. I made that choice and I embraced myself. And it literally was able to say, okay, if I hadn't embraced myself, I would have been living an unhappy life. So it literally, it showed me this. It was like, okay, you can live when you embrace yourself, and you can have all these magical experiences, or you can live in 3D society and you're going to be unhappy because that's not truly who you are. To be closed off and just to live how other people live, that are closed off to the spiritual. And it was like, it taught me this beautiful lesson about embracing myself. And I have come out stronger, with just this amazing sense of strength in me that I cannot explain to you in words. And so I walk around every day feeling powerful, feeling divine, feeling gratitude, and just interacting with everything that comes and crosses my path. It's very liberating. It is, I like to say the Statue of Liberty. Let me explain to you this. So I was speaking to David Wilcock, and he, we were talking about the Statue of Liberty, and I was at this conference, and the question came up about what does the Statue of Liberty represent? And I said, okay, if we look back, we know that the Statue of Liberty was created by a man who went to Egypt, and he copied the statue of Isis. And why does she hold, so Statue of Liberty represents Isis. Why does she hold the flame above her head? Now she is called Liberty. Now, liberty, she's saying she's saying true liberty comes when you go within. The flame represents the soul. So she's holding the soul above her head. She's saying, forget the 3D physical, hold your soul above all, and that's where you will achieve true liberty. So the very, very statue, the symbolic, beautiful Statue of Liberty is saying true liberty comes when we access the soul and hold the soul above our 3D physical. So when you enter the United States of America, just, ages ago, all the ships used to pass by that glorious statue. And that statue was, in a way, the divine is symbolically calling out, saying, true liberty will come when you embrace your soul above all.
Yeah, don't say so. From the chat room, my friend Corey Otto asked you the question. I can give my thoughts, but you're the rock star. I love it. Corey asked the question, I felt like I got manhandled by Medusa and the little people the other night. Could you help me understand a little more?
Ooh, so you want to see what is this trying to teach you? Sometimes we have negative entities that come to us because they're trying to teach us empowerment. We have the power to say to something negative, go, do not return, stay gone. So when there's something you dislike, you need to, you have experience, you need to look at it and see what exactly it's trying to teach you. Is it trying to push you to your power? Because a lot of negative entities will come and tell them, go and stay away from me. I don't want you in my field. Say that with love, put a very strong boundary, tell them to stay away from you. So any experience like this, I would say, is trying to teach you a lesson. It's trying to teach you about healthy boundaries. It's trying to teach you to kind of, take your power back. If you don't like an experience that's kind of, that's a spiritual experience, look into it. See what it's trying to teach you, because I assure you it's always trying to teach you something, some sort of knowledge. It's trying to help you create healthy boundaries. It's trying to help you find your inner power and literally tell the negative entities to go. Everything serves the purpose when it comes to spirituality. It's about the lesson in it that you need to see that. You need to look into the lesson.
Living in this world of duality, every time there is a dark, equally there is a light. When the dark fires off, you can bet the stick of dynamite of light, of love, power, and might is firing off. So because it's a whole coin. And so in order to have currency, you have to have the awareness to realize your worth by pulling back in perception, looking at things for the value it actually is. And it simply just becomes revealed. Sarah, I am so enjoying my time with you. It's amazing how when we play in this arena of spirit, it's like, bring me some food every once in a while, give me a couple of grapes and fan me, and I'm good for eternity. Before our final segment, what
that
would
sounds
you
like my Egyptian life? Go ahead.
Exactly. That was my referral. What would you like to talk about? Your future endeavors, what's happening with you, more about multidimensional, whatever. This is your time to exit the cave.
So with me, I spend a lot of days where I meditate. I really don't like I said, talking about these things, I'm like, I don't think people need to entirely know, but most of my days are spent meditating. And if the world goes, if I feel that there is a dark time, and I will go into cocoon and you will not hear from me, because I will spend my time in that cocoon of energy, working with energies to help bring this planet up. That's my main mission here. I don't speak a lot about this stuff. I don't speak about a quarter of the things that I'm doing every day or every other day. When it comes to working with the planet or working with the energies here, because that's sacred to me. And I want to keep that, to myself mostly. So I avoid talking about it. As for, my future endeavors, I am doing a conference in Shasta this fall, which I'm excited about, and some other conferences too. For me, the most exciting thing in the future that I see is the awakening of humanity. It's already happening, and it's going to be happening more intensely every single day. And we have this chaotic energy, but we also have so many people waking up, and it's beautiful. So I'm here on this planet also to see one of the most beautiful things that because I'm coming back and forth from this planet, and incarnated and experienced it sometimes, and then left and came back again. And the most beautiful thing will be to see humanity wake up. So in this lifetime, I was told that I would see humanity awaken the most. So for me, this is sacred. This lifetime is sacred to me because I get to see that. And imagine watching a world that destroyed themselves, that murdered each other, and that world waking up and realizing the beauty of the divine within them, and coming to peace and really building themselves up and building this planet up. I will say that is worth spending 1,000,000 years watching a world, because that
is poetic. Great. And you know what? And I think it goes even further than that you are actually part of the awakening, part of the story that in hindsight from the future, they're going to look, no?
I'm not.
No, I mean, no. I mean you. I mean you as a plural.
And divine they are.
I mean the word
something that they were all along. They were like me. You understand? They were even like me, or even more than me, a long time ago. And I'm just here to remind them of who they were all along. No, that's it. But it's not me. Do you understand? I wouldn't do this if it was just me.
Sure.
I would be off doing something else. I would have spent years being ridiculed and laughed at. It's not me. It's that force that instructs me, that's using me to channel out that energy into this planet, because just my incarnation here is it can channel the energy directly into this 3D physical world as a portal. And that's why I'm here. It's not me, because trust me, if it was up to me, I would not be living this life. But I am so close to the divine, and I see what it wants for humanity. And I'm like, I'm all for that. I'm entirely for that. I'm on your side, and I'm going to help out as much as I can, because I love people.
When I used the
I
word,
don't want to see them suffer no more. I'm tired of seeing
yeah,
them
right.
suffer.
When I used the word you, I meant the audience as a plural. You are part of. In hindsight, humanity is going to look back and say, "Wow, you were part of this unfoldment." In the Akashic Hall of Records of forever, when they learn about American history or whatever history, Civil War, American Revolution, when they learn about the human history of how it was done, your name is going to be in the spiritual Dewey Decimal System. And so it's unfolding. So not only is this something that is beautiful that you should watch from a detached perspective, objective, to see the unfoldment, but also be inclusive with yourself that you are an author in this universal story. Yeah, Sarah, what'd you say?
Yes, everybody is. It's incredible. It's like we all have our unique life paths, and we all have these amazing magical experiences. And everybody, in the end, everybody awakens, and everybody, they return to their souls, and they return to their hearts, and they return to their true selves, something that they lost a long time ago. And everybody will author a better world. They will start to channel their soul energy to be the creators, all together, creators of an amazing planet that is enlightened, a planet where war no longer lives on, where famine and pain and suffering no longer are.
And like you, I do see it.
And we will understand that we do die, but we never truly die. We just go from one incarnation to another. We will understand how amazing and magical everything truly is when we just thought we were here alone on this rock floating out in space. And that's such an illusion of the truth.
Sarah, I see that happening as well. I see it happening. People say, well, Keith, I don't see it. Well, it's possibly because you have a filter. No judgment. Just remove the filter, and suddenly, within the silence, the new world appears. Sarah, is there anything you would like to leave us with? Website, contacts, final thought, as well as your future endeavors, promises that's coming up for you, dear? What's happening? Any particular radio shows, TV shows, expositions we need to see?
You know what? People keep contacting me, trying to book stuff with me, and I'm just like, not right now. I just feel I'm taking some chill time right now. I'm working one-on-one with some beautiful people, and I'm just doing a lot of meditation. Those are the things I'm focusing on. And then when I'm told to kind of amp it back up, I will. But for now, I'm not. I've kind of pushed everything aside. I kind of go with the flow. I go with what I feel. I'm at a very happy spot in life. I'm very healthy. I'm very well. I'm going to do some live streams on my social media and say some of the messages that come through, but that's about all I'm focused on right now. And I'm very strange. I live day to day. I channel things. I do that. I'm not trying to go beyond that. I focus on the moment and on this instant of being and go from there. So I like I said, I'm going to Shasta. I will be speaking at Shasta with some of my amazing friends.
That's going to be amazingly fun. That's going to be fun.
But I think next year I'm really going to amp it up with doing stuff. This year was just like a year of me going through a lot of just, I'm helping out with 2 different companies, consulting for them. And I have a lot on my plate. I don't have a lot of time. What extra time I have, I meditate with, I do things like that. But otherwise, no, I'm not. I have some things coming up next year for sure that I've kind of pushed back. I'm like, push forward. I'm like, nope, I'm going to spend all the way till Christmas, have some, just breathe in time, and then get to work. Or as soon as Christmas is over, I'm going to really get involved in a lot of stuff. I am working with some charity groups, and I share those sometimes on my page. I'm getting some companies to send in a lot of their products. So, companies just kind of stock up products and then they get new lines of products, and they have these boxes of these old products. I'm like, okay, we're going to send these to homeless shelters. So I'm working on things like that right now that are really close to my heart, and just working energetically. I'm doing most of them. I feel like when I do shows like this, I love doing them. And I love you, Keith, because you are so sweet and you're just always amazing to me. You have the best energy. But I feel like when I do shows, I feel like if I sit for an hour and I just do this energy work, that affects the world more than me just talking. It's just like, so I'm like, okay, I really need to focus on that. And that's why until Christmas, I'm just really putting in as much meditation and energy work as I can, because right now I feel like the world needs that. And I've been instructed to do that. And I've been instructed just to go deep in the forest and do my work there. So that's what
I love it. Deep into the forest, deep into the desert, deep into the wilderness, deep into the cave.
All those places.
Deep into the cave. Everyone, tonight, my guest, beautiful lady, Sarah R. Adams, and we have been speaking about. I'm going to put a picture up because my software froze up. I'm going to be doing a presentation shortly called The Cave. It's about going in there and being for real. Real. Not woo-woo and fluff and bling-bling. None of that. And we're going to be talking about 8 Lions Gate and the potential of, it's always here. It's just that this is the ceremony, the ritual. It's the birthday. It's the anniversary. The thing that says today is the day that see, because it's really about consciousness. Because even though Lions Gate was not yesterday, if you have enough people doing it, Lions Gate was yesterday. But the Lions Gate 8, which numerically does have an alignment in power. We're going to be talking about that in about an hour. And I want to thank my dear sister, cosmic sister, Sarah R. Adams, for joining me. Sarah, anything you want to say before we jet out into the multidimensionality?
I want to thank every person who is awakened and who has done the work, who's doing the work. I want to thank you. And the world needs you guys, and the divine just holds you as precious gems, because that's what's going to save this world in the end, and that's what's going to completely change it. And you guys are all needed, and I can't thank each one of you enough, or have enough gratitude for you guys, because you guys are the true change in this world. And all together we are going to make that positive difference, and we will keep doing it until there's no suffering left on this planet, until this planet is completely back into its original blueprint, where it's connected to the divine and not one person has to suffer.
Dear Lord, my guest tonight, Sarah R. Adams, SarahRAdams.com. That's SARAHR Adams.com. I cannot wait in the future, which doesn't exist, till we pop open that champagne spiritual bottle of celebratory time. That's the movie we created to tell the story to the future generations. If you do not leave this world a little better than you found it, shame on you. I have to disconnect, quote, with the keyboard, so I can't just play this beautiful song. Again, Sarah, thank you. Everyone, I love you. Peace, love, and light. That's all you got is a choice. It's a simple choice to live in the light. People talk about what is your will and God's will. You don't have any choice. Your choice is to get into the divine will or not. You get into the cosmic stream, life happens through you. You consciously disconnect from the life stream, life happens to you. I'll see you shortly. About an hour in the cave. Peace, love, and light. Slave to brave. Sarah, thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful lady. Powerful. Dear Lord.